Welcome back, and thank you so much for sticking with us. If you're just joining us, this is Relationships Wednesday. Our main topic today is the Single Dads Edition. So, if you're just catching us, we had Hassan Umar previously, but he had to leave. And you remember to watch his show Hustle Yangu on KTN Burudani. So right about now, we've been just joined by a new guest, Abel Amunga. He is an actor, he is an MC, he is a musician, and above all, he is a proud single dad to a 34-year-old girl. Did you hear me right? To a 34-year-old
Lady.
girl. Yeah, and lady,
Yeah, I was like,
lady,
she's 34,
lady,
you
yeah.
can't
And
call her
he's been
girl.
raising his daughter since she was 7 years old. I think that's very amazing.
Yeah.
I believe we all agree.
Anyone who's a new single dad, this is when you get the notebook out.
Inspiration
and
is
the
about to
pen.
come.
And start taking notes.
Yeah, and
For
of course
anything
we
and
have
everything
Robert
Spencer.
here.
Yes.
He was still here with us, and he's still here with us. He's a single dad raising his 9-year-old daughter, which is really really cute. And of course Susan is still here.
Still here.
Yay. So before we went on a break, yeah, we were talking about Hassan brought up the idea of Hassan was saying, as a guy, how do you
Shopping.
literally go shop for your daughter when it comes to the particulars, Andes, and and maybe you can tell us from 7 years old all the way to 34. First of all, at what point do you stop to do some of these things, and how do you even hold that conversation with your daughter that? Okay, so now I think you'll be going to buy your own particulars, I find it very interesting, and I'm actually very curious. So maybe you can just tell us about your journey a little bit, and then tell us how the transition went about.
Well, from that point,
Yeah.
thank you very much. From that point, I don't think I made the decision to stop buying her such things. It had to
Oh,
come.
can you guys exchange microphones? Sorry,
Okay.
there's a particular issue. Just start again.
Very good. From that point, I don't think I made the decision to stop buying her the necessary stuff.
Okay.
It just worked automatically.
It just
like,
happened.
Yeah, like the transition was just very smooth. Like, nowadays, kwani kuliendaje? No, I bought for myself. Just give me some money. I need to buy stuff. That's how it started. Because
okay.
it just came from her, and she started buying. Yeah.
Who would you say
I
has?
I bought her up to the point that I felt now she's not asking for any more. And of course, she wasn't going without, so she was buying somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And asking for assistance when necessary.
That's
it's like,
right,
oh, Dad, I
yeah.
need money. I need to go shopping on this day. blah, blah,
Yes,
blah.
yes.
Did you go? Because like I do this sometimes with my dad, or if I'm going shopping with any one of the male gender, where when you go into the store, they look for a nearby seat.
Oh, and they just chill.
Yeah, they're like these ladies when they're in shops. You don't rush them. Don't tell them things. Don't just let me look for a chair.
Yeah.
And I sit down, and then and then we meet at the counter when you're done. Is that like the best? Is that what is it like a best principle to take on?
It's a good principle.
Yeah.
Yes. You either look for a seat, or you take another aisle somewhere where there are men's stuff like Gillette and stuff.
Right. And then you just
Yeah.
So maybe we can both talk about, or rather, both of you can tell us about dating or thinking about dating again as a single dad.
You go first.
You go first.
I go first.
Okay.
I think one. I
you said
believe
you actually remarried.
I married and it didn't work.
Okay.
So of course I believe in love. I believe in dating. There's somebody who's close to me at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm trusting God to take it the next level. It's always first. There's always a challenge of her accepting her
Right. Yeah.
your girl, thinking is she gonna be the right person
Yeah.
to my dad.
Mm.
And I've noticed that my daughter is very protective of me. Like we'll be walking in a supermarket, say hi to somebody. I'm a pastor, so hi pastor, how are you? You say hi to somebody, and she'll always ask, "Who's that?" And I'm like, just one of the people at church.
Yeah.
Or who's that? A friend of mine. Okay.
Do you get tired of answering these questions?
Actually,
She
sometimes
feels
like,
like she's
"Wewe
policing
si
you
unyamaze tu
everywhere."
wewe."
Uh-huh.
And also sometimes, another thing is when maybe it's a Monday weekday
Uh-huh.
and I'm busy and maybe I don't come home by 7 or by a certain time.
She'll be like,
No, I
Yo.
get a call from the house up. phone. I'm like, Daddy, where are you? What time are you coming?
Wow.
And I have to give, and in that instances, I have to give specific answers.
Uh-huh.
Maybe in town, and I'm in a mat right now. I should be home in the next 30 minutes
Right.
or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I kid you, after 30 minutes, if I'm not there,
She'll-
Daddy, you've not figured where are you? Well, like, and I'm like, okay.
girl.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's
so-
she's now you with her when she was.
Yeah, I think she's just watching on of me.
Yeah.
And so there's there's always that challenge. You're thinking, is she gonna be?
Yeah.
But God has been good so far. I
Yeah.
can say, yeah, it's amazing.
That's
Okay.
good.
My experience is a different one. The reason I took over taking care of her when she was 7 years, someone might ask, what happened between when she was
0
born and up to
years and
0 to
7.
7 years? Yes.
Yeah.
So my daughter, I got my daughter out of wedlock with my first girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long story, but I'm just gonna try cut it short. So immediately after high school, I became a father, and then I didn't know what to do. So we decided I had to continue with my education and let my girlfriend keep the daughter, and as she stayed at her mother's place.
Okay.
So she stayed at her mother's place very well. I used to do odd jobs, and sometimes I would go to class part-time and do odd jobs and try and send some support here and there.
Yeah.
Then at 9 months, when the baby turned 9, I had bad news that she had moved in with a man. So I was really, really heartbroken because
Right.
I'd actually promised after high school I was going to get married, then make a family at that age.
Mhm.
So I was really heartbroken, and there were so many things that happened in my life. I guess that's when my Christian life became stronger, and I made so many other decisions. After I discovered it was true, I went on and got into another relationship. And then eventually I had to get married to this lady in church. And after that, she had another baby with that other guy, and another baby, and another baby. So during the third pregnancy,
Mhm.
this guy turned brutal and he hit her. I think he kicked
Oh,
her in the stomach, and
no.
the baby died in the
Oh
womb.
my God.
So after a few months, she also died in hospital. But before then, before she died, I visited her in hospital.
Uh-huh.
This time I just married this other lady.
Yeah.
So I visited her, and she told me the best thing you can do for me right now is go and get your daughter from this brutal guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not comfortable even in my hospital bed.
Yeah.
I would only be comfortable knowing that you have your daughter with you,
Yeah.
living with these children,
Mm.
and take your daughter. So that's what I did. So immediately I took my daughter, came back to Nairobi with her, asked my wife if we can keep her for a while
Mm-hmm.
because her health was really bad. She said yes, of course. So we kept her, and in the meantime, 3 months after that, we got the bad news that the mother had died. So I told this lady, who was my wife then, now you have a baby.
Yeah.
This is our child.
Yeah.
Keep her.
Yeah.
3 years down the line, she had not been able to conceive.
Oh.
And then 4 years. And then I kept encouraging her and telling her, now God has given you a child.
Mm.
Take care of her.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe some years later, or even if it doesn't give you, you're a mother.
Mm.
But that did not suffice. Eventually, she turned also brutal,
Mm.
bearing in mind that where this girl had been a brutal family.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the stepfather had been abusive. He would also just torture her, let her sleep with babies on her back.
Mm.
And then here she is in another family where
Mhm.
the stepmother has turned brutal again.
Yeah.
Then it really hit me so bad. But after a while, my wife left.
Mm.
She just left. I think I prayed because I could not send her away. I could not beat her. I could not
Mm.
do anything. She
Right.
just packed her stuff and
And
left.
said, I'm done.
Yes, I tried to get her back, but she couldn't.
Mm.
To cut the long story short, I sat my daughter down and told her, from today on,
Mm.
you will not be subjected to any other family that
Yeah.
will abuse you
Yeah.
or
Sure.
mistreat you.
Mhm.
I will be your father and I
Mhm.
will be your mother
Yeah.
until you are independent.
Mm.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
So she actually, just like you, she was really protective of me. She would ask
Yeah.
where I am, what time I'm coming. who is this? And
Yeah.
then she would always base on the promise I made to her
Yeah.
that I would never subject to. So every time she saw me in a female's company, she would, but Dad, you promised
You said.
you would not give me another mother. Are you planning to give me another mother? So that's what
Yours was a
happened.
tough one.
But now
But
she's
does it mean that you
34.
didn't date at all? Was there a point where you guys went back and readjusted that contract?
Of course,
or-
after some time, okay, what had helped not to date is what I had been through. So
Yeah.
that pushed
Yeah.
me for a long period
Yeah.
of not dating.
Yeah.
So I was celibate all through that period. I was really happy and contented. But there came a time when I could not bear it anymore.
Yeah.
So I just had to date. And sometimes I just had to play it smart because she still held on to the promise you made. Dad, you
Yeah.
said you will not bring any person in my life.
Mm.
And you said it's just me and you.
Mm.
Until she also started dating. Then she said, Dad, now I'm dating. Why are you just
so
sitting
now
there?
you're just
So make a trouble.
We got one.
I think I'll say mine has been. We had a conversation with her, and she was like, and she looks at me. The times I'm happy,
Uh-huh.
she's happy.
right.
If there's somebody around me and I'm not happy,
Mm-hmm.
it affects a lot.
Mm.
And she's always been looking at me and telling you that as long as you're happy, me, I'm happy.
And it's fine.
And that has been the same thing. And I've also made some statements like that, like, yo, no one's gonna mess you up. I'm here.
Mm.
Nobody's gonna like make your life miserable
Yeah.
as long as I'm around. And I feel as it's a very challenging situation sometimes. You're with your child here, and you're with the woman that you love,
Mm.
and sometimes they might mistreat the girl. You want to save your relationship or your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You want to save that. You want to
Maintain your
Protect your child.
protect your child.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you balance? How you
Yeah.
divide yourself? And this is a predicament many men go through,
Mm-hmm.
especially those who've had a child in their past life. You come with your child. It's easier sometimes for a man, I think, to take to have a woman who has a child.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and
Mhm.
some men are like, it's easier, and sometimes it's hard for some women to take that child.
Right.
And there's that issue of a lady thinking it's a competition between her and me.
And,
to the-
That's
so
true.
and it's so crazy. It's a very
Complicated.
complicated issue, and
Yeah.
you're as a man, you're thinking,
Yeah.
what do I do?
The first relationship I got in when I
Mhm.
decided now buy.
Mm.
First relationship I got in actually was spoiled because of the same thing you're talking about.
Mhm.
Because this lady kept saying, "You're paying so much attention
To her.
to your child
Yeah.
than me." So there was even a day she said, "Now you have to choose: is it her or me?"
Oh, wow.
But now when
Then-
you ask somebody that a question and this is their own whole child,
Exactly.
surely what answer do you
No,
expect?
can I
But
be very?
It's my flesh
very
and blood.
valid, though.
Yeah, it's valid,
It's a
it's
bit
valid.
valid if you
Yeah.
think about it.
And it's easier for someone to say, "How can you do that?"
Yeah.
I know. My question would be maybe
Mm,
how earlier on in the relationship also did someone know you had a child? Do you guys have that? Because like also there's single moms are always just like, maybe when you say it on the first date, they're just like, let me go to the bathroom, and they just vanish and don't come
Yeah.
back.
Uh-huh.
But then for you guys, when would you say, how early on should you say? Because I think that would be a big effect. Because at the end of the day, if I found you with your child, I found you with your child. It's me, I'm there plus. I'm the one who's come to join this party. So I can't then be there and then be like, oh, choose it's you and me.
I'll talk about myself. I think I'm open from the beginning. If I have a
Yeah.
relationship with you, I'll tell you even the wrong things I did in my past
Mm-hmm.
for the record, so that
Mm.
next time you hear something like this and this one was seen, this happened this year, it
You
is not
already
news to
know.
you.
Right.
You get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I'll say I'll let you're supposed. It's nice to let somebody know from the
As
beginning,
early as possible.
so that they make an informed decision that
On
this
whether they
man,
want to
yeah,
proceed.
yeah,
Yeah, that's same thing with me.
Mm.
Just like the men who, when they're given a microphone, when they're given a platform to speak, they first say, I'm so and so, and I'm married.
Mhm.
That would be the same thing with me. That would be the same thing with me, because every time I meet someone, be it a man, be it any person,
Yeah.
I'm always proud to say that I'm a father.
Yeah.
And actually, just like you introduced me, yes,
Yeah.
I am not just an actor, musician, MC.
Mm.
I am a father. That's
Mm.
my other title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always say that I am a father. I am a father of so and so. She's a a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I would want to understand. Both your stories have a bit of similarity. Yeah?
Yeah.
You've both experienced loss at some point. Would you feel, or rather, have you felt that sometimes when you're looking into dating, you're probably just looking for somebody to fill in that gap without necessarily knowing that nobody can ever fill a gap where somebody else was in, you know? It's like you're different from somebody else. So
Yeah.
if I dated somebody, I wouldn't expect you, when I come to date you, that you're going to be like somebody that I
Yeah,
dated in
yeah.
the past,
Mm,
you know?
mm.
So have you found yourself sometimes when you're looking for a partner, maybe you're looking for somebody that you've lost in your life?
I'll say what happened to me. I went through counseling after the loss and
Mhm.
everything, and I remember one day, in my session with the counselor, she mentioned that people were gonna come into my life, and I should be fair to that lady and not compare her. And from that day, I put my life in such a way that I appreciated the life I had with the mother of my child,
Mm-hmm.
and then it ended at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a new one, so I opened myself up it was intentional. Actually, you have to be very intentional about it. Opened myself up with the idea of, this is somebody new. They're gonna be different from her. They're gonna have different temperaments and different character, and just opening myself. So appreciate that life,
Yeah.
but again, I don't drag it into my next life.
Mm-hmm.
That in terms of comparing it,
Yeah.
I cannot compare. I think two different people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a help to me, and I was very practical, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me.
Of course, there's no way you would try to make another person to be like the other person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Even as an actor, I
Mhm.
really try a lot to be a bad man. It's a hard task.
It takes work.
It takes work
Yeah.
to be a
Yeah.
bad man. And no wonder guys meet me and they ask, "Are you like that in real life?"
Yeah. No, I'm actually a really kind, sweet person.
Yes,
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
It's-
Good when somebody plays the role really, really well. I know
Yeah.
some villains in
Yeah.
series, and that I'm like, in real life, I met this person. I don't think I'd like them just because I'm like,
Yeah.
you did it too well.
I have met people who have literally refused to shake my hand. in
Oh
functions.
my
Like when
God.
I'm seeing people come to me, they want to take selfies, but other ladies will just go, "I'm not shaking your hand.
Who
I
your
don't
name?"
like you." And I'm like, "No, it's not me. It's that other guy." "No, it's you. I know you."
Yeah.
So anyway, in comparison, you cannot fill up some other person's gap with another person.
Yeah.
But definitely, like in my case, there will be those points where you will be bombarded with comparisons. For example, when there are positives and negatives. And sometimes they won't be vocal, but inside of you, you'll say, she knows how to make better chapatis. Yeah, in
Yeah,
comparison.
yeah.
But that won't be vocal. You can't tell her, but by day, you know. Yeah?
Run for yourself.
Yeah, and then there'll be other points you definitely will say, "Oh, she's trying, but I miss her." Those points. But that will be just an inner
Oh,
voice.
yeah.
Inside,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I'll be very. That's a good point you brought.
Mm-hmm.
There's that point. There's the days you miss her. There's something like for me. There's sometimes I'll see my daughter and she'll do something. I'm thinking, "Hey,
That's so.
That's
your
like your
mother.
mom.
That's like your mom, yeah.
hey," and I think now the woman who comes to your life, she needs to be a woman who's very mature and understanding to the point they understand those moments. They have,
Yeah.
and embrace you with those moments and walk with you.
Mhm.
And I tell you what, I have come to discover, if you find a lady who's mature and understands all those moments and walk with you, you find even those moments will become less and less.
Because you guys will create some of
Oh.
your own.
Yeah.
That's
As
actually
a
really
trio.
beautiful, yeah.
They
Yeah.
become less and less.
Yeah.
I don't mean
Right.
that you forget the left,
Yeah.
No.
but the moments that we, those moments
Mm.
we come, because you have somebody who supports you. They understand. They affirm you. I know you had somebody in your life. I know you missed them sometimes. It's okay. Like, do you miss her? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they bring that conversation around the
Mhm.
table. And I kid you not, the more you find that, wow, you appreciate the late, but it's less, the moments are less than the
Yeah.
way they used to be,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe we can you can tell us about especially for Abel 7 to 34. Has there been I know, right?
Like, oh, every time.
Yeah, my kindergarten.
You're
Kindergarten,
kindergarten.
You'll be there in a twinkling of an eye. You won't even feel it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Okay.
are there times, especially when you're talking to your daughters about maybe your mom, or oh my God, you probably look like your mom, or oh, that was so your mom, literally what you just did right there.
Yeah.
Are there times you find it necessary to sort of like take them through counseling? Do they normally have like traumatic cases where sometimes you go to school, especially when you're 7 or when you're 9, you go to school, it's parents' day or it's visiting day. Here is your friend, a whole family, getting them to understand at a young age, all the way to, let's say, 34, that you actually will never get that.
Mm.
Do you have to take them through counseling? How do you break it down to them as they grow up? Because again, even them, they see other people. They see other people with their moms. They see people living what we'd call normal lives.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how do you transition them into that every other time they have those kind of moments?
Go.
Yeah, I'll share my experience. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
there are several times my daughter has gone to birthday parties, but that's happened like about a year or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2, 3 years ago, and to 1 year ago. She'll go to birthday parties and hang out with people, and at the end of the day, she'll start crying and missing her mom a lot. And sometimes she'll be taken by. I have a good friend in Mombasa with his wife, very supportive couple. They'll go, they'll take her. My daughter is like their daughter, so and then they'll cry. She'll very cry, and the thing was, I came to discover that when she goes for parties and see everyone with her mom and she doesn't have a mom, that really affected her.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they will talk, and I think I remember having a conversation and telling her, you know what, it's only me and you, and we just have to work it out. One day God is gonna bring us somebody in our lives who's gonna be your mom again. So and I've been and I used to tell her over, but us sitting down and crying, we're bringing negative attention to ourselves sometimes.
That's true.
So we just need to continue working out and accept that it is what it is, and move on. And I also mentioned, I remember I mentioned to her one day, when you start crying like that, it becomes harder for me, because now you're crying, you're missing your mom, and now even if she's not here, I can't bring her back to you.
Yeah.
And the question is, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, so, and I remember having a conversation with her and telling her, help me to help you. Let's move on.
Figure it
Yeah.
out
I know you're understanding. Give her a hug there.
Yeah.
Tell her, I know you miss her. I'll take you to the grave. We go see the grave, and
Yeah.
I'll take her to the grave. She go see the grave, and then I made the decision that she won't go to many birthday parties. I'll kind of avoid those situations,
Yeah.
so that to get out of that.
Until
at the-
maybe when she's a bit older and she
Yeah, and at the moment she's better.
Yeah.
I've had less of those series
right.
of late than the way it used to be.
Mm.
So that's how
Wow.
I dealt with it.
Okay.
I go.
It's your turn now.
All right. Okay. So there was a day, sometimes early this year, we had a very solid conversation with my daughter, and some of the things she pointed out were really shocking to me, because all through I've been bragging of having been so close to my daughter.
Yeah.
All through I've been bragging of having known everything about and around her. But I just discovered after that discussion that it was a lie. It wasn't true. There were moments she felt alone. There were moments she felt like she actually needed to have a mother. And I felt like I have filled in the gap. There is no way you can completely fill in the gap
Yeah.
of a mother.
Mm.
Agree.
You always
agree.
have your position as a father, but
Mm.
you can never. I always say, I've always been a mother and a father. Never.
Never.
No.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I've always asked her to wish me a Mother's Day and a Father's Day at the same time.
Yeah.
Never. I think I've just taken those compliments for nothing. She actually opened up and told me a few things that she went through that are actually negative because of lack of a mother. A few other things she made through positively because of a lady that I entrusted to her, a very close older lady who was like an auntie to her.
Yeah.
And during that time when she actually attained the age of having to buy those things on her own,
Yeah.
that lady was a great help.
Yeah.
When it came to buying some hygienic stuff,
Yeah.
that lady was of great help.
Yeah.
She just came in handy. And I never had to experience all that. Sometimes, even during school visits, I would even let the lady go when I was away.
Right.
Sometimes I would go with her, and sometimes I also have my brother's wife, who is a very close auntie also. I would also just take her with me to make sure that others have two parents, so she would also have two parents visiting.
Wow. Wow.
Sometimes I would, on some nights, I would hear her sobbing in her room alone. And it would be so traumatizing. So I would wake up. Kuna mtu analia mahali. Ni nje ama ni hapa kwa nyumba. Then I would open my door and then walk into her room and then, Mom, what is it? And she's just sobbing. Sometimes she would say it, but deep down I knew she was missing her mother.
Yeah.
True.
Then those, just like he said, I would talk to her. I would tell her, your mother is not here with us, but I'm here with you. I'm here for you. Just be strong. Let's continue, like we said, just the two of us. Let's continue.
Tushikiliane tu.
And then it went on until she overcame that phobia, until such a point that every time she remembers her mother, she doesn't remember her mother with a tear. She remembers her mother with a smile.
That's really
Amazing.
beautiful.
That is so
That's really
sweet.
I borrow that. I'll borrow
Yes.
that. I'm borrowing that.
Exactly.
I'm borrowing that.
Yes.
Here's the thing though, I like how the conversation is going. We are really delving into it, but we have to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thanks.